Today we're going to be talking about some of the lawsuits in the real estate industry right now. 2025 has been a very interesting year. As a consumer advocate, a lot of this I have seen, and I'll be honest, I've been delighted. So delighted. I've been waiting for years for this to be brought to the light. Now, I want to be very clear. The lawsuits that we're going to discuss, they're just lawsuits at this point. There's no innocence or guilt. This video is my opinion, but it's also educational. So when we're looking at this, I don't want you to look at this as I'm assigning guilt or innocence, but rather that I'm sharing with you the details of the lawsuit to educate you as a home buyer so that you know why people may be suggesting stuff to you, because that's the root of both of the lawsuits that I'm going to talk about in this video. Okay, so we're going to talk about Zillow. Now, to be perfectly clear, Zillow is not the only company in the industry doing this sort of stuff. What's happening right now is the battle for the one-stop shop. That is what many lenders view as the future of housing. I do not. I think you always need independent parties because that's how you keep everyone in check. Builders have been doing one-stop shops for a long time, and that hasn't gone great. A one-stop shop is this. You walk through the door, you're working with XYZ Corp real estate agent. You're working with their lender. You're working with their title company. You're working with their insurance company. You're working with their inspectors. Everything is under one umbrella. Here's the thing. When everybody's under the umbrella of XYZ Corporation, you, the consumer, are over here. When you're buying a house, the real estate agent, the lender, the title person, the home inspector, everybody should be working for you. But when they all work for one corporation, that's where the lines get blurry. That's why I don't like the one-stop shop. Okay? Because think about it. If you're a part of that cog in the machine and you say, hey, something's wrong with this transaction, well, you could just end up unemployed, right? You're a troublemaker. You're disrupting. Oh, Paul he's such a problem. He always says like I didn't negotiate the house right, blah, 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 problem. Okay? Let's talk about the lawsuits. These lawsuits are about lack of transparency. And the first one that I want to talk about is the RESPA lawsuit. It's a class action lawsuit, and the claim is this: Zillow violated RESPA. You're like, what is RESPA, Jennifer? As a lender, lenders have so many rules and regulations, I cannot even tell you. It's very simple. As a lender, I cannot offer you anything of value for a lead. The reason RESPA exists is to protect consumers from being referred to businesses because the person referring is getting money, right? This lawsuit is saying that they were pushed to Zillow home mortgages and they didn't know it was because by doing so, the real estate agent was incentivized. Okay, so Zillow has two things going on here. They have their Flex program agents, which we'll talk about in a minute, and they have Zillow Home Loans. The claim is that basically the amount of leads that are sent to Zillow Home Loans for a pre-approval, the more they send, the more leads they get, the better leads they get. So the agent is encouraged and incentivized to send business to Zillow Home Mortgage. Guys, that's RESPA violation. Like Zillow's saying, no, it's not. Here's why. And I'm sure they have some way that they structured the companies where perhaps it's not. But at the same point, when you get to the basics of what RESPA is, I, as a lender, cannot give anyone anything of value for a lead. I can't say to a past client, like if I did a mailer, I asked about this years ago. I'm like, can I do a mailer to my clients and just say, hey, send me all your friends and family. We'll send out $100 for everyone we close just as like a thank you. No, it's a RESPA violation. You can't do it. So if in fact real estate agents were being incentivized with leads, which is you, that's more business, more money based on how many people they sent to Zillow Home Loans, in theory, that is a RESPA violation. Now, from a client perspective, you're like, why do I care? Why do I care? Simple. You're a home buyer and your agent is pressuring you to use a specific mortgage company, and they're like, oh, they're so amazing, they're so great, you're gonna love them, oh my gosh, I work with them all the time. Do they? Or are they incentivized to say that, right? That's the problem. They're not the only ones doing it, okay? Like, I'm thinking of a mortgage company right now where they're like, oh, we have these special real estate agents for you. And beyond taking a cut of the real estate agent's paycheck, they also pressure them as well to make sure that client stays with them. Like, there's different variations of this throughout the industry, and there's one common thread, which is you, the consumer, has no idea what's going on. Like, I've done videos about, are you sure that's why the agent's recommending you? You know, I've had so many people over the years where they're like, oh, my agent said they're the best at VA. My agent said they're one of the top lenders. I look up the lender, I'm like, they closed 4 loans. Like, your agent's probably getting a kickback. Kickbacks are illegal. So this lawsuit is saying that they were violating RESPA. They were being incentivized to send business to Zillow Home Loans. And it goes deeper than that. Like, within the industry, we heard the rumblings of the offices that get Zillow business, having competitions, who can send the most to Zillow. You know, it has been widely known in the industry for a few years. And you're like, well, why did no one do anything? Guys, it was so widely known. Everyone was waiting for the regulators to look at it, or we're like, well, maybe the regulators looked at it and it must be legal. The class action is going to be really interesting because it will show us, okay, what is the real deal? Is this gray? Is this not? But shouldn't consumers know anyways? Like, no matter what the outcome, I feel like if someone's sending you to a specific place because they're getting a kickback, you should know. And I don't think it should be allowed. Okay, second lawsuit. The second lawsuit is about the Zillow Flex program. On this one, there's claims of deception, as well as lack of transparency. Again, the basic claim is the borrower went to the website, they clicked to schedule a house, they didn't understand that they were being set up with a Zillow Flex agent and that Zillow was taking a portion of that agent's commission. Zillow has a special program called the Flex program. You can look it up online, and what they do in this Flex program is any client that Zillow sends this realtor, depending on where they are in the country and what the sales amount is, they take a percentage of their commission, 30 to 40%. And you're like, well, I don't care if Zillow takes the real estate agent's commission, like, as long as it's not my money. Wait a second. So we're in the new world after the NAR lawsuit. After the NAR lawsuit, you, the buyer, are supposed to be negotiating with the real estate agent for how much commission they get paid. How can you negotiate if you don't know there's a silent partner in the room taking 30 to 40%? You can't. You can't. And look, I've heard it before. I've had clients go, you know, at my price point, I should be able to get them down to 2, but they won't go below 2.5. I don't know what to do. What do you think's going on? And I'm like, how did you find them? Oh, well, I went to this website, I clicked this button. Yeah, the agent's giving up a big chunk of their money to that website, and that is why they don't want to go lower for you. They're willing to give up money to the website, but they're not willing to give up the money to you. Here's the thing. It's an easy solve. Be transparent, right? Like, look, if there's a button on the website, what do I think it should say? I think it should say, if you click this button, we will be hooking you up with a Zillow Flex agent who we selected because they will give up their commission, whatever their parameters are. We take XYZ of their paycheck should you close with them, and yeah, put it all there. Most people won't click. No, because here's the thing. Most people, when they saw that button that said schedule a showing, they thought they were scheduling it with the listing agent. They didn't realize that they were going to be hooked up with an agent that had no affiliation with the property, that was just an agent that was willing to give up their paycheck, a huge chunk of it, to Zillow. Look, they're not the only company doing this. You know, I think of a very popular mortgage company that I compete with all the time. And they basically have it where they say to their clients, hey, yes, we've got an agent already assigned to you. They do an assumptive close on it. And people are like, oh, great, that's so great. You have an agent assigned to me. Well, guess what? They're taking 35% of that agent's commission, whether you close with that mortgage company or not. Yeah, are you told that? No. You're not. You think this agent was assigned to you. You don't even realize that you could have selected an agent. And that's the thing. You may go, how do people not know that they can choose the agent? Guys, this is not taught in school how to buy a house. You guys are watching this channel, and if you made it this far in this video, you are a curious human that wants to know more, that wants to make sure they're making a good decision. The concept of buying a house is so scary and foreign to most people that just having someone say, oh, you were assigned, it's an assumptive close. To them, it's like, oh, this is how it must work. Super simple. Disclose it. Disclose it. Say, hey, we have a real estate agent that we can recommend in your area that's willing to give us 35% of their paycheck to give you their phone number. Yeah. Say it. Say it. Say it out loud. And look, I'm giggling because here's the thing. All this stuff has been in the dark. And you're like, well, why is it in the dark? Because if it was in the light, no one would click on it. No one would do it. Like, that's what I think is so interesting about all of this is that, you know, it's stuff that's been going on in the industry for a very long time. It's always been very gray. And it's problematic. So I'm super curious to see what happens with this. Now, I will say, if they're found innocent on both of these, we're going to see the one-stop shop and the war to be the one-stop shop amp and amp and amp. We're going to see companies plugging this more and more in. I don't think it's a convenience for you guys. I really don't. And if you're like, well, what could go wrong? There's a lawsuit against D.R. Horton, the builder right now, for collusion. The basic claim on that one is that the lender and the realtor conspired to get buyers to buy homes that they couldn't afford by, what would I say? By fudging the numbers. Yeah, there's a big lawsuit against that right now. Do we know if they're innocent or guilty? Worth a read, because what they're talking about and the claims that are being made are eye-opening to what can go wrong with a one-stop shop. So I hope this video was helpful. Really interesting time in the industry. There's so many other lawsuits that once again will bring more transparency to the industry.